What's up, George? What's going on today?
Today we have Mr. Chris Moses on the show. He's promoting his new project that he's got coming out. He was here last time on the show, had so much fun, he wanted to come back. So here he is again. And we're going to be talking about add-ons. This is a continuation because we started the topic, but we ran out of time. So we were talking about stretch goals and add-ons, and today it's add-ons.
Let's go.
We are the only show for independents all around, giving you a platform to spread your word all over town. Catch the Craze is the place to promote to your fans with the dream of Medina and Sam the Crazy Man. Subscribe to our show and never miss an episode. It's time to get your mans, listen to us on the go. Updated every week, we never miss a day. Join the squad, come on in. It's time to catch the craze. If you are an independent, catch the craze. Making moves on your own, catch the craze. On your grind in the streets, catch the craze. Join the movement, catch the craze.
Yeah, George, we did it again. Come on now. You know you want to do it. Catch the craze. Welcome to Catch the Craze podcast. I am your host with the most, Sam the Crazy Man Vera, and I am with
George, the dreamer, Medina. What's happening, my brother?
What's happening from the great Lone Star of Texas. Yeehaw!
Lone State Star. That's right. That's
Lone
right.
Star State.
Welcome everyone to it. The Lone State. Yeah, the Lone Star State. Jesus Christ.
I said the Lone State Star.
We dyslexic.
You can tell I'm a Florida. I'm a city slicker.
Welcome everyone to another exciting episode of Catch the Craze.
Yes.
We are sitting in. Now, this is the first recorded episode since you moved to Texas. So the studio looks a lot different. A lot different. But we would have had the first official show last week with the live show. But this is the first recorded show that we did at the you did in the new studio.
Yes.
So how does it feel to be out there?
I'm still unpacking. So I've only been here not even a full week, mind you. So at the time of this recording, this is what. I arrived last Wednesday morning at 1 a.m. So this Wednesday will make a full week, and which is, whatever. And it's different. The room, my new studio, and look for the unveiling. I'll be unveiling it soon. Is very functional. It's very different. It's not set up for a squad. It's more like a art studio, podcasting studio station. So I have the way it's broken down into two sections. So it was weird because today was a busy day for me. I had the pods. So I had the pods that the moving pods. We loaded up 2 1,200 square foot pods that were shipped here, and we unloaded our furniture. They just picked that up this morning. We had the plumber here this morning. My brother-in-law came, and we went and I picked up my living room furniture. That I acquired on Facebook Marketplace. Holla. Never pay full price. Never pay retail when you can pay wholesale. And so I was busy, and we're still I'm still doing this room, still setting this up, still setting up the master bedroom, and my wife's office. So we're still, and I haven't even touched my gym equipment in the garage. So I got to put all that together. So we won't be done for another week, and then everything will be done. So it feels a little weird.
Yeah, I'm sure, dude. The whole different state, different weather, different people, different food.
Weather's crazy.
Different, everything.
Spiders are crazy. Dude, the spiders are everywhere, kid. Everywhere. No matter where you walk, there's just, and they have these most elaborate webs. Nice. There was a spider. So I'm up here unpacking, and I hear my wife scream. I said, "What's going on?" I go running downstairs, and so in New Jersey, we got these spiders with thin bodies and really long, skinny legs, right? Here, we got these bodybuilding spiders. They're diesel, they're thick, and they got thick legs, right? Almost like mini tarantulas, right? And this brother, he saw me and he starts beaming. He's like Carl Lewis. He's running. And I was like, oh shit. So I grabbed the cup and I caught him. And he was spinning in the cup like a madman trying to get out of it. He's like, oof. I was like, I got scared. I was like, yo, can he break out of this? I was like, oh! And then so I got an aluminum foil, scooped it underneath, and ran to the bathroom and flushed him down the toilet. I can't smash them.
This kid's flushed.
Yeah, I say he'll make it through the sewer system and he'll make it to somebody else's property, come up their toilet. But and then we got these wasps. They're like this, bro. They're like their bodies. You ever seen the brown hornet in Fat Albert? Yeah. The shape. So figure it's a hornet. Anyway, so they're huge. And there was one in the house, and I had to catch it, and I flushed it down the toilet. I was like, "Sorry, guy."
This kid loves that toilet.
It's safer thing because if you try to put it out of the wild, they jump at you. You screwed up, right? So I'm like, if the toilet's safer for me and for you, you know.
It's just drowning.
And we have geckos everywhere.
Nice. Listen, man. They say everything's bigger in Texas.
The food is crazy.
I guess it applies to those insects.
Yeah, the food is nuts, man.
Spiders.
I mean, delicious.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, listen, if you're a fan of Mexican food.
Yeah, Mexican.
Mexican. Tex-Mex.
Texas food is delicious.
Yeah, I've had some of the best tacos when I went down to Houston to visit a friend. We had some ridiculously good tacos, bro.
Oh, you got tacos. Even the quesadillas are crazy. And I wasn't a big quesadilla fan. And what they do with their stuff, the way they whip it to shape. Today I had country fried chicken. It was delicious. I had Bubba's fried chicken the other day. What? Oh, I'm telling you, man. It's just you're gonna roll me out of Texas. it's like.
Oh man. So from now on, every single episode we'll be doing this. We were doing it from different places before, but now this is real. Like I can't just drive out over the bridge and go check you out. So it's just very, very different. It's
different.
Get this done. But here we are again, and we have Chris Moses on the show, who we had on the show before. If you don't remember Chris, he was on episode 261. So check that out in our archives. And he talked about the Saturn effect. He's going to be back today. He's going to be talking about some more stuff that he's got coming out. He's planning. I think he's accepted to go into the New York ComicCon in October. We'll talk to him about that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah, so let's see if that's happening. But we're fresh off. I guess it would have been 2 weeks ago. We were virtually on the Ambient Con, and that was fun. That was a good time. The guys did a very good job, flawless in the way they handled everything with the panel. It was fun. Yeah, that was good. But I'm looking forward to next year, man. I want to see what goes on next year.
I mean, I think the government needs to get their act together, and everything needs to start making sense, because nothing makes sense. And the scare tactic stuff is just it's the uncertainty is crazy, and I think people want to get on with their lives. I know I do, and so we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah, let's see. Hopefully a lot more conventions open up and we're able to go out there. So we'll figure it out. But the projects continue. Right now we have Forbidden that's still going on. This should be on the last day.
Today is the last day to pledge to Forbidden on Indiegogo. This was the catch-up campaign on Indiegogo. So if you're watching this show right now, please go hit the link in the summary below. Look at that. George got the squatter stuff in his hands. Let me get this stuff in my hands. That's the coveted cover by Mr. Keyless himself. Look at this right here. Look at this.
Now, a lot of the stuff that you're seeing there, you're not going to be able to get. Not everything, right? Some of these things are going to be add-ons.
Those are add-ons. So you can add it on the Indiegogo, but the Indiegogo is pretty simple. It's the issue 0, issue 1, and if you're an art collector, some artwork and a retail for the retailers. But the rest is just add-ons because it was meant to be just a catch-up campaign. Yes, a catch-up campaign. So if you're watching this, today's the last day. Get those pledges out. Everybody who pledges, if we make the goal, will get the Shaku pinup, which is pretty dope. So let's make Go. It's an easy to achieve goal, and I need you to make it. So hit that link in the summary below, and let's pledge to Forbidden and make those. And you're gonna enjoy the book. I promise you. You're really gonna dig it.
Yeah, no, it's a really, really, really good book. So definitely, I mean, if you haven't yet, pledge, and if you have pledged, tell a friend, share the campaign. Sam's all over the Facebook, all over the Instagram,
Everywhere.
with the links. So
Everywhere.
you will be able to find it. So if you follow Catch the Craze podcast on Facebook, or Vera Sam on Facebook, or if you follow Catch the Craze on Instagram, you'll see it there. So yeah, check it out. It's a really cool book. And we were talking about add-ons. Why don't we go into our Get Your Meds segment of the day and talk a little bit about add-ons?
There's that damn thing.
Nice. Too bad I don't have the sound, but there it is.
It's time for your medicine.
Add-ons. What are we adding on today? I didn't even check that one. So what add-ons, George?
See, we're getting reacquainted with the studio. It's funny because just how long ago was it that you redid the whole studio in the house, and you had this video? I just redid the whole thing. You had to state of the art place ready to rock, and now you have to tear it all down
and do it all over again. And I had to sell the office equipment. I had to sell the table, the chairs, all that stuff, bro.
Oh man! So here we are. Okay, so here we are. Get Your Med segment of the day is add-ons.
Yes.
Now this is a little 101. This is a little crowdfunding campaign pledging 101. For those of you who have no idea what the heck Kickstarter is, a crowdfunding campaign is, Indiegogo campaign is, they're exactly that. They're crowdfunding campaigns. Crowdfunding campaigns helps people like Sam and I produce our books, send them to the printers, pay artists, whatever it is. A lot of indies are using this mode of, creating to help us fund a lot of our books. Now, when you go to Kickstarter, when you go to Indiegogo, you can pledge, almost like you used to do it back in the days, telethons, right? You used to call up and say, hey, I want to pledge this amount of money, and then they would give you something, right? So in this case, Indiegogo, for example, Sam's got an Indiegogo right now. You have Forbidden, issue 0, issue 1. You decide which ones you want. If you want 0, if you want 1, if you want both, you pledge. And then as soon as you're about to check out, you go to another window. And that window says, do you want to add on anything else? That's what we're talking about today. Add-ons. The extra things that you can get on your pledge that maybe aren't in the reward tier that you just picked. So, for example, Sam's got a lot of covers, right? So these covers aren't part of the reward tier that you're getting, but you can add it on if you like it so much. Like, for example, what do you got? You got this guy, right? You have this hollow foil cover.
Yep.
So if you want the hollow foil cover, you click the add-ons button, and then you just add that cover to your cart, so to speak, and then you check out.
Right.
So I'm a proponent. I love the add-ons. When Kickstarter did it, and even now that Indiegogo is doing it, I love it because sometimes these campaigns get a little too crowded. There's just too much stuff on, right? There's just so at the end of the day, maybe I want a cover, but I don't want all of that other stuff that comes in that particular tier. I want to pay my $20, but I really do like that cover. Boom. Let me just put it on as an add-on. Do you find that that's helped your campaigns? Not this one particularly, but in the past.
Well, yeah, the add-ons really drove that cover that you just picked up. That's like the number one sorted cover in the add-ons pile. And for those of you who still trying to figure what that is, think of it as you go to a restaurant and you order a meal, but you ask for salt and pepper, you ask for ketchup or barbecue sauce. Those are the add-ons, the things that are not in the meal, but that you can add on, right? Because you prefer it with barbecue sauce, or you prefer it with salt, or you prefer it whatever. You want a little more salt of this or whatever. So, so the add-ons have helped with the bookmarks. The bookmarks were a big on add-ons, and that covers a big on add-on. And the third thing that was big on the add-on was that cover, the bookmark, and one more thing. I forgot what it was. There was 3 things that were like the biggest things. So yes, I think that add-ons just gives people options that you might not see in the actual tiers, and it helps. And it helps you get closer to your campaign goal as well. You know,
you gotta, as a creator and the people putting together the crowdfunding campaigns, you gotta be careful also though, because they do cost money. I mean, obviously, everything we print, everything we do costs money to do it. So we are mindful of that, and that's why, like what Sam was using the restaurant analogy. Unlike in a restaurant where that stuff comes in for free, and if you ask extra of it, this you actually pay for these add-ons.
Yes.
So
you guys
will
play to
cart.
play.
So there will, there will be, just an additional, whatever it is, for the cover.
You have to go into your pocket and say, how much can I pay for that add-on right there? Uno, dos, tres, singles. Make it rain, make it rain.
This kid is making it rain. He's making it rain. Oh, yes.
Oh, you crazy.
It's back. Oh, man. No, yes. So add-ons we were talking about stretch goals last time, and those are a little more complicated. The add-ons are pretty easy. The add-ons, you go in there right before you check out. Now you'll see it like in Kickstarter. I've noticed in Kickstarter, whenever you make a pledge, the very next screen, if there are add-ons available, that's the very next screen you're going to get. So you can scroll through that and say, "Oh, I want that. I want to add that. I want to add that." And then at the end, you pledge it a complete. It'll tell you how much it is, and you move on with your life. And now in Kickstarter, they don't charge you right away. Indiegogo, different story. Indiegogo, you get charged as soon as you make your decision. You decide you want that, you're getting charged. Kickstarter waits until everything is funded. If it doesn't make its goal, then you don't get charged. If it does get its goal, you do get charged. But if there is no money in your account, they will send you an email and they'll follow up with you to make sure that the funds are in that card or whatever you used.
Right.
Now, it's important. Now, I'll say this. If you're pledging to a campaign in Kickstarter, make sure that the funds are there, because it's not fair for the creator. Right?
Word,
the creator
man.
thinks he made its goal. He was asking for 1,500. He made 1,502, and your pledge doesn't go through. Now he's under his goal. He still get the money. They'll still give it to him, but now whatever he planned or budgeted to print these books is short whatever amount of money he didn't get from you. So just be mindful of that when you are pledging on Kickstarter. Make sure that you do have those funds.
It's like you're working really hard. You're working really hard. You see this girl in school, and you're working up the courage, and you're trying to find out about her, and you get your boys involved, and everybody, they know that you like her, and everybody's watching, and then you finally ask her out, and she says yes reluctantly, and you said, all right, we're gonna meet at this place, and you're there, and you got the table, and you're waiting, and she doesn't show up. Damn. And you still got stuck with the bill. Damn. That's what it feels like. I was like, because I had a few people bail on the Kickstarter and they come through at the end. So that's what it feels like. It's like,
it feels like you got left.
I got left behind. I got left with this escargot and I got nothing. The whores, the boars.
Yeah. The escargot is very expensive.
Yeah, man.
You're a big spender, bro, on dates.
Hey, big spender. Huh?
Look at you. You're impressive.
I've never had escargot. Ever. No.
Me neither. I don't want.
I always find that Italian restaurants are good at a first date.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pasta.
I don't know. There's something romantic about being in an Italian restaurant with authentic Italian food, with a nice ambiance, and there's something the bottle of wine and all that stuff. It's just like it's very romantic.
You were a big fan of Lady and the Tramp growing up?
Oh, of course. When the moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
I could tell the whole scene with the spaghetti.
Oh, yeah. Paschetti's? Yes. I love that scene.
That's all you. Yeah, no, I mean, that is a good spot. I think Italian restaurants are good. French restaurants are good.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, no, that's good stuff.
I don't think I've ever been to a French restaurant.
You never been to a French restaurant?
I've been to Indian restaurants. I've been to Asian restaurants. I've been to Moroccan. I've had Moroccan. I've been to Austrian restaurants. But I don't think I've been to a French restaurant.
If you ever do find yourself in a French restaurant and you're not sure what you want to order, I know you would love this.
French
steak
toast?
And frites.
Oh,
no, steak and frites.
It's French fries,
Just
right?
ask for that. It's basically steak and French fries. That's what it is. It is so freaking good, bro. Like the way they make the steak. I mean, I don't know how you eat your steak. I eat it medium rare, but that's just me.
I haven't had steak in it forever.
Delicious, bro. Oh yeah, you don't eat meat like that.
Yeah, I'll get chicken and fries.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, "Sir, get out, get out, son."
Hey, eso es chicón.
Americans. Chicken and fruits. Get the hell out of
Chicken
here.
and fruits.
I think they do serve it though.
Gotta get some chicks.
Yeah. See what Sam is doing there? That would be an add-on. That would would not be allowed at a French restaurant. But yeah,
but they have wine. They have wine.
They do have their French wines.
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
And they have bread.
I mean, obviously, you haven't had a chance to go out yet. Everything's been.
I went out today, but that was just to go and pick up my.
I mean, for dinners, like dinners.
No. No, we're actually going to have date night tonight in the house. So we got our new living room set and the big leather couches, and they're soft. So it was like, let's put on a movie and let's sleep in the living room tonight. And this we haven't spent any time. We've been packing and all this stuff for the past 2 months and running around, and we haven't had any downtime. And she's like, so I was like, hey, do you want to just camp out in the living room and watch a movie? And she got excited. She's really, I was like, yeah. I was like, I just want to be normal. Let's just relax, So we're not even gonna sleep in the bedroom tonight. We're gonna sleep in the living room.
Nice. It's the time difference is also a plus, I guess, because you get everything done earlier. So like 8 o'clock here is 7 o'clock there. So by 9 o'clock, when the show will be ending later on today,
it's 8 o'clock here.
It'll only be 8.
Yeah.
So you got a nice evening.
Yeah, and the good thing about it, we moved here at the right time because September starts cooling off. So next week's not so much. This week not so much because we're still in the 90s, but it starts going into the 80s, and so it's easier, so we can because I got the big screen and the projector to watch movies in the yard. And the stars at night are crazy out in Texas, bro. The sky is big in Texas.
Everything.
Yeah.
Everything's big in Texas.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's the add-ons. That's the add-ons section.
That's the add-on, yes.
Of Get Your Meds. We can move on from that segment and we can just talk a little bit more about Texas, bro. Tell me a little bit more about Texas. Like, I'm actually going to be flying out to California this year to visit my family. And I booked a flight that has a layover, but it's a ridiculously long layover. It's from like 8 in the morning to like 4 p.m. in the afternoon. And it's in Texas. So I told Sam, I was like, Sam, pick me up at the airport. Let's go check out the house. So hopefully we'll be able to do all that. Hopefully nothing else happens with the variants and all that other nonsense.
Yeah.
And I can get out there because I'm excited, man. I want to see your house. I want to see the cribbo. It looks really, really nice.
Johnny Boy was here. He's like, yo, this is like MTV Cribs. I was like, yeah, right. I was like, you're right. I was like, Johnny's funny.
Johnny didn't want to leave.
Johnny didn't want to leave. He's like, okay, I move in. I was like, no. You gotta go. Look at that. My mic just fell again. You're gonna find a way to keep this.
The Cyfax effect.
Yeah, I know. The Cyfax effect. Yo, this mic. What the heck?
Mics are dropping and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh,
what the hell?
Man. Jeez.
Shit.
Yeah, no. But
I gotta drill that bad boy in.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. You haven't had a chance to go to the lake. There's a lake by you.
Yeah, there's a lake down the block. I haven't gone to the lake yet. It's actually four houses down from me. So right over. But hold on, I gotta tighten this bad boy up. This is what happens when you're recording. I had to find a way to. The problem is underneath my counter, it's a lip. So when I'm trying to tighten it, it's not strong enough. So I gotta drill that bad boy in. But yeah, no, it's nice out here. The skies are big. The animals are real. The dogs are loving it. The dogs are having the most fun of their whole lives. They're running around the yard. They're digging for geckos because there's geckos everywhere. It's nuts. But I see that our boys in the waiting room.
Let's go get them.
So we're gonna run to commercial, and if you're looking to promote your comic book, your series, your movie, whatever it is that you're doing, why not?
Do you have a Kickstarter campaign and you're trying to figure out how to get the word out? You look online and you see the competition is fierce. Comic-Cons are slowly coming back, But in the meantime, how do you spread the word? You worked for hours creating your campaign. You post on as many social media sites as possible, trying to get the word out to no avail. Well, look no further. Why not sponsor an episode of Catch the Craze Podcast, the fastest growing indie podcast in the market today? That 30-second promo can get you an extra 2 to 3 backers or more. Who knows? Let's go. Hit the link below and get one step closer to a successful campaign.
All right, so our guest is coming in, and there he is with the white effect.
Chris, what's up, brother?
What's going on, guys?
Yes.
Does my mic sound okay?
Yeah, coming in clear. On my end,
All right,
you hear him,
awesome.
Sam?
Yeah, all good in the hood. Let me get
Awesome.
Oh, good. Welcome, everybody, back to Catch the Craze. We're here with the great Chris Moses. What's going on, Chris?
Living, dude. Surviving, creating. You know how it goes.
I love it. Welcome back. We had you back, and if anybody was wondering, who Chris is, we had him back in episode 261, so check out his backstory there. We're going to be talking about the future today, about your projects and what you got coming up.
Right.
I was talking to Sam. You did mention that you had you were accepted into the ComicCon, the New York ComicCon in October.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
So that's exciting. Is that going to be your first one?
Yeah, that's going to be the first time you'll be seeing me tabling anywhere.
Wow.
New York Comic-Con, October 7th through 10th, Thursday through Sunday. So I don't have the exact location just yet. I mean, obviously at the Javits Center, but I don't know like which table exactly.
Right.
But could definitely find me there, and we'll definitely have some new stuff to show off. So that'll be awesome.
Awesome, bro. Now the section. I mean, I know you don't know exactly which one, but are you? Is it like Artist Alley or is it
Artist
It's
Alley.
Artist Alley. Okay.
Right.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, man. I'm hoping everything goes well with the con and everything. You know what I mean? Like, and nothing gets whether it's postponed or whatever. Or
I think it should go okay.
yeah, no, I think it should be fine. So are you going to be there by yourself, or do you have your team with you? Are these guys coming in from what's happening?
Right. So unfortunately, I can't have anyone coming from Europe to help out, but there should be someone that I've been working on a book with that will have to show everyone at Comic-Con for the first time. My buddy Christian Wolf, and we'll be there Saturday and Sunday, so everyone can come in, maybe get a convention sketch from Wolf, get us to sign our new book, which we'll be dropping a trailer for very soon.
Nice.
And yeah, it'll be pretty cool, hopefully. And then I have a couple of buddies coming the other days, and but mostly I expect to be the one at the table and everybody else like looking around, and because I've been to Comic-Con before, but never as a creator, so I'm locked in. I'm ready to push books and shake some hands and meet some fans.
Nice. So what's been going on since the last time we spoke?
Well, I've just put my foot on the gas, honestly. I've just been writing and making. I've been trying to, build connections with artists, and when I find somebody that I feel like is clicking with me, it's like, all right, let's get this done. Let's write a book, and let's get some character designs, and let's make it happen. And that's exactly what Christian Wolf and I did for our next project, which is called Soma City. And I had found him on Twitch, and we had been talking for almost like half a year, just like shooting the shit. And he really enjoyed the Saturn Effect, and he's a big fan of Francesco Mazzoli's work and Marco D'Alessandro and their work on the Saturn Effect Alpha. And I was just like, one day I was like, man, if we ever want to get there, we just got to keep on doing it. And
Right.
I wrote the script for him, and he loved it, and we just went from there. So that's one project. I have a couple other projects that are still I wouldn't say they are in the vault, but they're in the background and waiting for just the right time to sort of come out and be shown to everyone.
They're in production.
Yeah, in production. And I also have the third issue of the Saturn Effect Alpha,
Yes.
which will also have available for the first time at Comic-Con as well.
Nice.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah, actually, for those listening, if you go to Instagram and type in the Saturn Effect,
Right.
follow his page. The artwork on this page, dude. The artwork that I think this is this is Frank Mazzoli, bro. The artwork he's doing, and I like how you have some of like almost like the process of his work, and even in black and white, these pages for issue 3 are looking phenomenal. Really nice stuff. It's a 33-page book, right? From what I understand. Now, is this going to be? Are you going to do a Kickstarter for it at all, or is this just you straight going into, hey, in October, come to the table, pick up the 3rd issue?
So you'll be able to get it early in October, but we are aiming for around November for the next campaign, where you'll be able to not only pick up Alpha 3, but you'll also be able to pick up its sort of companion issue, which also has Christian Wolf as the artist, TSC Helena. So the next one is a big one. It's a 2-parter. You get 24 issue sort of a prequel story with a familiar face if anyone has read our online free content at thesaturneffect.com. It's a first look or a closer look, I'd say, at a fan favorite, and it sort of gives us the first part of what we'll be seeing the conclusion of in Alpha 3, and it's sort of where hopefully we'll see some worlds colliding, and maybe everyone will start to see some of the strings that are being pulled as our characters get closer to the midpoint and the end of Volume 1. And we're also hard at work already on Alpha 4, which will also be a very long issue. Probably it's about double size. It's about the same as these two of Helena and Alpha 3. So we have some big stuff coming out, and I think you can probably find or expect to find the Saturn Effect on Kickstarter for the foreseeable future. And as add-ons, you should be able to find the other comic books that are coming out for Red Sea.
Yeah, no, it's funny because we were just talking about add-ons as part of like our Get Your Meds segment on the show. And add-ons are and you're using them also for your Kickstarters. Have you found that they work really well with what you're doing as far as like when you put them on or what you put on as add-ons?
So I actually haven't had add-ons on my campaigns yet, but the next one will be using add-ons, and I think add-ons are honestly, they're amazing, and they're a crucial part to the sort of snowball effect that you get when you're creating on Kickstarter, and you're able to sort of leverage a successful campaign and then do it again and do it again. You're continuously able to use your back catalog as incentives for people to come along for your next campaign or for your current campaign. So I believe add-ons are amazing because then you can pivot to another product if you want, right? If you say, you know, for in my case, if I wanted to go from the Saturn Effect to one of our newer projects, I could always offer the Saturn Effect Alpha 1, 2, 3, 4, and any subsequent issues as add-ons. And also the deluxe books, the digitals, the any bookmarks, any stickers, and anything like that. So I think add-ons are secretly a place where you can get a large chunk of your Kickstarter funds, which probably should be emphasized a little bit. It's one of those things where if you have a lot of great products, people are going to, you know, hopefully buy a lot of your, or back in hopes of getting those great products back. Yeah. So yeah, add-ons are amazing. I'm very pro add-on, and I think it only gets bigger. It only continues to become more and more. Things like digital content continue to be honest, like a wealth of constant funding and constant and easily fulfilled rewards also. Digitally, it's you know, not as difficult as obviously bag and boarding and then shipping out your book as an add-on.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Have you found that the fan base has it grown in the last couple of campaigns? How's that going? How have you been able to grow the fan base other than just being on Kickstarter?
Yeah, I definitely think the fan base has grown a lot. I think there's a little bit of the passive algorithm where just being on different platforms like Instagram on Twitter and places like that, and putting content on YouTube, you'll passively start to get some engagement, some views, and when you put something on the internet, it's there forever. So you don't want to think about these things in a really short frame. You want to think about them in a longer sense. And yeah, so I definitely think that the TSC audience has gotten bigger, and I think I've been starting to grow my own audience as well as an individual creator, and not necessarily just as the guy that makes a sound effect, but hopefully as somebody that, you know, has a lot of crazy stories and some fun characters to get behind, and some really awesome artists that hopefully we'll be seeing for a long time in the future in the industry. I think we have a lot of great, I want to say talent, but it's just pure skill. These guys put out so much time, and these guys, these girls, these women that I work with that are really, really good at what they do, and I appreciate all their time and their effort that they put in for my projects.
Yeah, I love the consistency, Chris. Like I love the fact that you came out with that first one, the second one's out. You're talking about the third one will be out in October, and now you're working on 4. The artists themselves, I mean, how fast are they getting through these pages? It sounds like these guys are flying, and it's not even like they're hack jobs. Like they're really, really well, really, you know, just the way they're crafted, they look really good. So how long does it take for these for your artists to send you a page? Like what is the time frame between these books that you guys are producing?
Well, I think it depends on the artist, and it also depends on what you're really trying to achieve with your book. All of these artists are very, very capable, and given enough time can draw like the Mona Lisa, I don't know, something, you know, the Sistine Chapel, something beautiful and amazing. So it really depends on what you're trying to go for with the pages. So something like the Saturn Effect, Mazzoli is a machine. He has his process down, and you know, if he really wanted to, he could probably get through a whole book in a couple weeks if he really, really wanted to and didn't sleep. And that's you know, partially due to his style, partially due to, you know, what's important in the Saturn Effect, right? Does everything need to be extremely tight, or does, you know, the storytelling need to be what's there, right? And Mazzoli has this amazing, you know, eye for, you know, storytelling. He has his camera angles that he's just what he does with the camera in his mind is a beautiful thing, and he's able to do it quickly. It comes out like that, right? And so there's partially, you know, where my script meets his brain, and you know, and things like that. But for him, I'd say it would take, it can vary. It's pretty quick though. He can go a page a day. For other artists, it might be closer to a page every couple days, right. Or it could be something longer. It can really depend. And then for coloring generally takes about maybe a month or 2 for a full book, you know, somewhere between 22 to 24 pages. But unless you have somebody like the amazing Marco D'Alessandro, who is really in tune with Francesco. They've been friends for a long time, and they've been working together for a long time. So something
He's
like
the colorist, right, Chris?
Yeah, exactly. He's the colorist of the Saturn Effect Alpha, and he'll also be the colorist for TSC Helena. So it'll be a nice little connecting factor between the two artistically. Anyway, they've been working together for a long time, and so when you have a relationship like that, you know where you can sort of rely on your teammate to, you know, help you out and make something really shine. Yeah. So yeah, a typical book would take about 2 to 3 months. Yeah. And it depends. If it's something that's really needs the time, it could take longer, you know, 4 to 5 months. If it's something that if the artist is, you know, spending those 8 hours, and you can see those 8 hours in those pages, you know, it could take a really, really long time. And you got to be patient with that. But the final end product is something that's going to last for a long time. So yeah, to answer the question, it varies for sure. But for the most part, I'd say about 2 to 3 months is where I'd like to, I think is a sweet spot for just pushing it out. And I think for somebody like myself, where I'm sort of just at the beginning, and I'm just trying to learn. And I think the best way to learn how to do any of this is just to do it, right? You can never get just writing the scripts or just storyboarding isn't going to really give you the full experience of making comics. You need everything to come together. You need to have that in your hand and to be like, okay, where did I go wrong here, right? As you know, as a creator, because you're the conductor, right? You're the director. The final product is your vision, right? Sort of directed through the other members of your team. And so you won't be able to really fully understand what you need to work on until it's right there in front of you in the flesh.
Yeah. Do you work with like, as far as your writing style, is it more you know, the Marvel method where you kind of just say, okay, on this page I'm thinking we're going to do this and that, or do you use the DC method, which is panel 1, panel 2, panel 3, panel 4? Like, how do you send these scripts out to them?
I would definitely say my style is a little bit closer to the DC method. I'll break it down, but also, you know, depends on the script. But traditionally, it's mostly DC method where I'm breaking it down by panel, and I have a very visual sort of writing style as it is. So I think it lends itself to a lot of freedom for the artist, but also an enjoyable reading experience just through the reading of the script, right? I feel like sometimes, and obviously comic book scripts are mostly instruction manuals for the artist, but sometimes it could be a little rough to read. So I like to, and so I can't not, I was an English major, so I can't not, you know, make things, you know, sort of fun to read. So, but yeah, definitely mostly DC method, page 1, panels, the amount of panels that are on the page, then panel 1, and then, you know, slug line, exterior, giant facility, et cetera, and then break it down that way. And then always keeping in mind, you know, is this page 1 or is this page, like, is this an even page or an odd page? Is this going to be a page turn, or is this the first page that I'm turning to afterwards? And yeah, that's generally my process. And then sometimes I'll post reference pictures from comic books that I love, you know, to give an idea of camera angle, or to give an idea of like, okay, I want something like this shot. I don't generally go too deep into, I want an angle like this from here. I think it can be a little stifling creatively, unless it's makes a lot of sense in the story, or it's necessary, or I feel like I have a very specific vision for it. Otherwise, you know, I've always sort of thought of it as sort of the screenwriter idea of where you're not really supposed to write the camera angles, you're not really supposed to write the cut to smash cut, et cetera, sort of know your lane, and know, you know, it's and it's not to say that you can't be really, you know, hyper involved in it, but I like to have my artists have a little freedom of, you know, because I like to see them as the, you know, the cinematographer as well. You know, they're sort of making the beautiful shots for you to, like, you know, gaze upon, and they're going to be working on it the longest, so you want them to be engaged as much as possible.
Right. So I just want you to elaborate on something you said a little earlier. You said you asked yourself, is this a page turn or is it a page I turn to? Please explain that process.
Okay, so you know, when you have a comic book, every odd page is a page turn. It's where you're going to be turning the page, and every even page is the first page that you see when you open it up. And so I, you know, to take full advantage of the medium of comic books, you really, at least in my opinion, you need to be focusing on this idea of the page turn. And you can use it for a lot of things, right? You can use it for suspense. You can use it for breaking up a scene to keep a story really moving and going quick like this. You know, something that if anyone's seen the Saturn Effect Alpha and Alpha 2, which solely does a lot, and then I do a lot of my writing, is you can like scenes will be just those 2 pages, right? Or scenes will be contained to a page turn and a page turn to really give it a full sense of, all right, we're here and really in the scene and really in the story. And so that's generally what I'm thinking about. You can use it for a lot of things. I think every page turn is sort of like a climax almost, right? You're sort of building towards that oh man, I really got to turn that page, right? And that's what comic books has always been about, right? It's been about big moments. It's been about page turning. It's been about, crazy stories and like, clones and, people coming back from the dead and, aliens and superheroes and just everything, right? And so to really capitalize just on the medium, I think you really need to be paying attention to like, this page, when you have it in your hand, you're turning it, right? And it's something that we definitely lose in a digital medium, right? You definitely lose that.
Right.
And not as much with manga, because a lot of the comic book readers, you can see both of the page, but manga readers, I think a lot have, on viz.com, they'll have both panels side by side. So you're really, getting it how you're supposed to. But otherwise, if you're reading it any other way, and if you're just reading it in a scroll, you're really missing what the medium is sort of meant to be doing, and how it can really affect your pacing and just your payoffs and just your overall reader experience.
So what does that approach look like for you? Because when you're the first person to reference this process of all the people we've spoken to, and so when I'm thinking about how, based on what you said, for me, I'm looking at either a storyboard that's on the wall, and how's that writing? So when you're writing, how do you, as a writer, visualize the page sequence mentally? Which comes first for you, the story or that aha moment?
Okay, I think partially it's some of the secret sauce, I guess, that goes in, and when you're just making something, but when I'm crafting a story, I generally see it, and when I'm thinking of scenes. So to start off the very beginning of the process, not to go too into detail, but I'll have a general idea of what I want to happen in an issue. Right. I know what characters I want to hit. I want to know what beats I'm going to hit, which A story, B story, C story, which sequence I'm in, which part of the story circle I'm in, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'm like, all right, I'm thinking about what the purpose of this issue is. Like, what is the, what am I trying to get across in this small amount of space? Because you don't really, unless it's the Saturn effect, you really only have 22 pages or less, maybe 6 to say something. And then I start to write, and I usually, when I'm writing, I'm thinking about, all right, how many pages am I going to give this scene, right? And I'm going to give something at least 2 pages generally, right? Because I want, thinking about a page turn from another scene to the page that I'm turning to, and like an establishing shot maybe, or a really atmospheric perspective shot or something like that, to really get you into where we are. And then, I maybe we'll give it another 2 pages afterwards that the scene needs to go a little bit longer if I need to get a little bit more information out of something. I don't really, if you've read my stuff, there's really not too much exposition. It's a lot of like action, because that's sort of my personal taste of how I like to write things. So everything is really purposeful, and I generally think about it like that way. It's like, I'm going to give a scene usually 2 pages. If I want it to be longer, I'll get 4 pages. If I want, it'll get 6. But it's not always hard fast. Like sometimes you have to. Sometimes I'll break that rule because I want the page turn to be something else, right? Because I know if I end the scene here, that's really not, like, this is just 2 people maybe talking, right? But this page is where we see a giant robot, right? So obviously I want like maybe the scene where we're seeing part of the giant robot on the page turn, because the reader's gonna be like, wait, what the hell is this, right? And then turn the page, boom, splash page of giant robot. Also, conveniently enough, setting the scene for us to do a continued into a longer 2-page scene of whatever I'm writing. All right, so that's generally how I'm thinking while I'm writing anything. I'm sort of thinking about like, all right, I have a contained amount of space. It's all flexible. I can do sort of what I want with the medium. Right. But it's always sort of in that sort of structured way, and that's just sort of to give it Marco does this sort of the same sort of thing with his coloring, where it's sort of controlled chaos, right? You set the boundaries, you set the structure, and then you can go a little crazy, right? And then you can, and go from there.
Yeah, I like the fact that, and the reason why I had asked you also about how you give them these scripts is because it just seems like everything is big. Like there's these big worlds. The way, like the art really complements the writing style, right? Like you said, there's not much like composition, and there's not much all of this back and forth. But these big images is what really just, you're like, holy cow! Like you're in this world. I was actually watching. I think it was Todd McFarlane that said he actually, the way he likes to do these is the comics is that he'll lull you to sleep a little bit. Like he'll give you 4 or 5 pages of whatever, and then bam, hits you with like a big splash page of, like you said, a giant robot or something like that, like a payoff. I like the fact that you plan these things out in your head before you actually write them down. I think that's part of being a writer, right? You're planning everything that you're writing along. The planning of these books that you have going on right now, you have the Saturn Effect, you have this new book coming out. Are some of these, are your worlds going to collide? In other words, is this one universe, or are these all separate, completely separate stories that you're writing? I know obviously the spinoff is in that universe, but the one that you're working with your friend, is that going to be in the same universe, or are you kind of like, is this like Chris Moses' universe, or what are you doing with these stories?
No, they'll all be sort of in their own separate universes. That doesn't stop me from maybe doing like a, sort of big tournament style comic one day. so don't hold me to that. But for the most part, everything is self-contained in their own universe. I write a lot of sci-fi, so it would be a little confusing for me to have like all these gigantic worlds, and they're all sort of sci-fi, and it would just be like hard to keep everything straight with the stories. It would have been a lot to like for the backs to be like, okay, how does this make sense, and then also this makes sense, and then this makes sense. So they're all sort of separate entities. But yeah, like I said, who knows? You might see some references and some Easter eggs to some other Red Sea Comics properties while you're reading. And I'll actually keep an eye out, honestly. Like I want you to keep an eye out. Maybe you'll see something. You know what? I take it back. Maybe you'll see something.
Chris, that's awesome, my brother. So you're going to be at the New York Comic Con in October. What else can people expect from you? Where can they find a lot of your stuff other than obviously the website you just gave us? Tell us where to find you so we can so they can get more of your stuff.
Okay. So after the Comic-Con, we'll be doing a Kickstarter in November, maybe December, but right now it's looking like November. And you'll be able to get all of Alpha 1, 2, and the new issue 3. And you'll also be able to get Soma City as an add-on, as either digital or physical, if you live in the US. And you can find me. I've been on Instagram for a while. You can find me at the Saturn Effect. If you want to see some process pages from Mazzoli, from Marco, and some other awesome artists that we have come on and drop some really cool art for us and do some cool fan stuff. So also, if you're an artist and you want to, draw something for a TSE, we'll definitely post it, and you can definitely see and hopefully give yourself a little exposure. And you can also find me on Twitter at @rchrismoses. I've been tweeting a little bit. So if you want to follow along and see here, I don't do any like hot takes. I'm not political or anything. If you want my politics, then you can read my books. But otherwise, just tweet about comics and process and upcoming stuff that I have coming out.
You're the man, my brother. Hey, listen, you got my money on the next Kickstarter. So I don't know if I won't be in New York for the Comic-Con, but I'll definitely look out for that kind of stuff. So thank you so much.
You guys moved, right?
Was that?
You both moved, right?
No,
Sam moved. I'm actually
Sam moved.
Yeah, I'm going overseas. My girlfriend, we have a wedding out there, so we're going to be in England doing some fun stuff out there.
All right, fancy.
Yeah.
You're on that European move now, okay?
Yeah, big time.
Yeah, my man. But listen, thank you so much for coming on again. The time is just never enough to chat with you. But listen, hey, you're welcome to come back. So
definitely, I will. 100%.
We'll definitely talk soon, Chris. Thank you so much, my man.
Thank you, man.
Thanks,
I
brother.
appreciate both of you.
All right, take care.
That was Chris Moses, and another show on Cast the Craze.
Yes, sir.
And so that was our segment, and we're going to be getting ready to go live. So check out Chris on. I always forget to get those images.
He's on the Saturn Effect on Instagram.
Yeah.
Check him out there.
On Instagram. And that's another segment of Catch the Craze podcast. Don't forget, if you like this episode, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the show. Help us to get monetized. We are 599 subscribers away from being monetized. So help your little brothers out. And don't forget, today's the last day to pledge to Forbidden on Indiegogo. Help your brother out. Get your copy of Forbidden 0 and 1. It's no joke. It's some good stuff. Can't wait to see you. And anything from you, George?
That's it, my brother. That's it. Just go to my page on Instagram. Follow The Adventures of Wonder Duck and check out Russ5377 on Webtoons.
Yes, we are out.
It's just it's not.
Crazy. Acquiesce.
No, I was talking about my friend Acquiesce. I met him.
Say my name, right?
This is what you were thinking? Oh,
Crazy.
he described me. He said, I'm the
What? Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze. To Catch the Craze. You are listening to Catch the Craze on Catch the Craze. You're listening to Catch the Craze.
Candy girl.